All right, we're gonna react to the new video. Blizzard is worse than you thought. I don't know if it's gonna convince me more than I am already, but seeing someone shit on Blizzard is just like every time.
The year is 2023, and a once beloved game developer's reputation is in absolute freefall. What was at one point probably the highest rated developer in the industry, a studio that pumped out classic after classic, has now become the home of incomprehensible horror. Corporate greed, broken promises, botched releases, stolen breast milk. This is the story
Stolen breast
of
milk.
Blizzard Entertainment.
No. You didn't go there. Early Blizzard was
The
like
year is
not
1991,
the same dudes.
and three guys have just graduated from the University of California. Alan Adham, Michael Morhaime, and Frank Pierce. They get together to create a game development studio in Irvine called Silicon and Synapse. The name is deeply philosophical and well thought out, with silicon representing the building block of a computer, and synapse the building block of a brain. However, people keep mistaking the silicon part for the material in breast
Yeah,
implants.
of course.
Anyway, they spent the first few years porting games to
Alright,
different
you guys
systems,
weld
but soon
plastic?
began producing their own original games.
Like,
with
you
the Lost
guys
Vikings in
soldered
1992
plastic
and
together,
Rock and Roll
or?
Racing in 1993. Eventually, they get sick of constantly being mixed up with women's breasts, so they decide to switch things up, changing their name to Chaos Studios. However, a company based in Florida already has the trademark, and are now asking for $100,000.
Ah, great.
They then decide to change the studio's name to Ogre Studios. But in 1994, they're acquired by a holding company for a few $1 million. And turns out, their new owners aren't a fan of the new name. Okay. So they
Ogre.
flip through a dictionary. And, oh my god, there it is. In 1994, Blizzard releases their first self-published title, a real-time strategy game called Warcraft: Orcs and Humans. And it's an instant success. It's one of the earliest real-time strategy games to hit shelves, and it's a blast. It also has a modem and LAN multiplayer, meaning people can get together and go ham. And the game does well, selling 100,000 copies in the first year. And for the first time,
Yeah.
Blizzard Entertainment is profitable. They follow it up with Warcraft 2 in 1995.
Warcraft 2 was my first
It's
Blizzard
another
game.
home run. Critically acclaimed, and now selling over 1 million copies in its first year. Nice. It's now 1996, and a company called Condor Games is looking for a publisher for their nearly complete game, Diablo. Blizzard has a little look, and they like. So they buy them
Me
and rename
likey.
them Blizzard North. It's also at this point that Blizzard notices something.
There you go.
Warcraft 2 had picked up a lasting online player base.
That's when
mostly
it's
through
good.
third-party
Afterward,
networks that
it's all
connected
shit.
players over this magic new thing
Well,
called
World of
the
Warcraft
internet.
is pretty good,
So
but
they decide to make their own, Battle.net. Its original functionality is very simple, with the ability for players to chat to each other and search for a match. But on December 31st, 1996, it launches alongside Diablo, and people log on and play.
and it
Diablo
crashes.
is a massive hit, also selling over
And it
1
fucking
million copies
crashes.
in its first year.
And
In
you
1998,
people get an
Blizzard
error
launches
trying to
StarCraft,
connect.
an RTS
But,
set in
Anna,
space. It
Didn't
sells
happen.
quickly and quickly grows a massive esports scene. Diablo 2 launches in 2000, another smash hit. It reaches almost 3 million sales by the end of the year, becoming the fastest selling PC game of all time. In 2002, Warcraft is back, and now it has an extra dimension. Warcraft 3 sells 1 million units in just 1 month, immediately becoming the new fastest selling PC game. It also releases with a campaign editor, which spawns a series of popular mods like Defense of the Ancients. And after its expansion in 2003, it's all hands on deck for Blizzard's next project.
World of
The
Warcraft.
year is 2004, and Blizzard is getting ready to release its biggest game yet. They'd seen how big MMOs like EverQuest were getting and thought they'd try their hand. And after $60 million and 5 years of work, it's finally nearing release. And in November 2004, World of Warcraft launches. And it takes the world by storm, smashing even Blizzard's forecasts. There are so many players trying to log on in the first week that their servers have a complete meltdown, with server queues reaching the thousands. Get past the queues and
That's the
actually
first
into a
time
game.
they get
Well,
that.
now you're greeted with a ton of latency issues and a probable disconnection, meaning you're
They've
now
been
back
having
on
that
queue
that problem since a long time.
After the
Dude.
initial server problems are ironed out and people can actually play, the game sucks people in en masse. Fans are very enthusiastic. It hoovers up awards left, right and centre, and sells a ton of copies, reaching almost 6 million sales by the end of its first year. World of Warcraft isn't like your average game though. Instead of simply buying a copy, players have to pay a $15 monthly subscription fee to play. 6 million times 15 every month, and Blizzard isn't doing too badly. Everyone is playing the game, and its
Was
ads
it
go on to
15 when it
feature a
came
ton of
out?
celebrities.
I'm Chuck Norris.
Can't
and
remember.
I approve this game.
And others like Vin Diesel, William Shatner, Henry Cavill, Mila Kunis, and Dave Chappelle announced their addictions in various interviews. World of Warcraft is everywhere. World of Warcraft would also result in
Mom!
the launch of BlizzCon
Bathroom!
in 2005, a massive
Bathroom!
annual convention that would feature big musical acts and announcements for Blizzard's future games. Fans could also ask the devs questions, and were sometimes even featured. At this point, Blizzard is among the all-time greats of gaming. Every game a smash hit. They could do no wrong.
Or can
But
they?
first, flying a plane is easy. Just get in, flip a few switches, and you're off. But in War Thunder, it's even easier, and a ton of fun. Jump into intense PvP that takes you from the ground and more than optimize it to 100 you can put below. The year is now 2006. World of Warcraft
Everybody's
has
waiting
almost
for fucking
10 million
Diablo
active
3, dude.
subscribers and is bringing in a ton of money.
Everybody was waiting
So
for
naturally,
Diablo 3.
It's turned a few heads. One of those heads, Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision. Now in 2006, Activision had made good tracks in just about every genre of games, except one. And one that was now booming. The MMO. With Warcraft currently bringing in over $1 billion a year in subscriptions alone, he's interested. Now at this point, Blizzard has changed hands numerous times, and is now owned by a company called Vivendi. So Kotick approaches Vivendi with a proposition. Vivendi receives money, Activision receives Blizzard. However, Vivendi says no. Instead, Vivendi offers to merge their gaming subdivision with Activision, with Vivendi owning a majority share in the resulting company. And after a brief hesitation from Kotick, in 2008, the deal closes. Activision Blizzard opens its doors with Kotick as CEO, and Activision and Blizzard now its two subsidiaries. Blizzard would supposedly retain most of its autonomy
That's
and
all
keep
it
their
all
CEO,
went
co-founder
to
Michael
shit.
Morhaime. It's now 2010.
Telling you, that
and
deal
Blizzard
was
has
the
gone from
worst
just under
move.
500 employees before the launch of World of Warcraft to now over 4,600.
Since then,
The
it's all
majority
been
of whom are
downhill.
preparing for the launch of StarCraft 2 in July, and the third major Warcraft expansion, Cataclysm, in December. Now these launches were not small. Warcraft had been hitting peak after peak of players, and was now at 12 million monthly subscribers, and StarCraft 2's sales projections are also sizable. But Blizzard currently has a problem. Their forums. They're a little bit toxic. Blizzard has a big team of moderators, but according to them, this still wasn't enough. So behind the scenes, they get brainstorming. And someone has a brilliant idea. How about we just force everyone that posts on our forums to use their real first and last name?
Oh yeah, great.
Genius. And in July 2010, Real ID is unveiled. And people absolutely hate it. So in an attempt to sell the idea to players, Blizzard's community manager posts his full name on the forum. See guys, it's fine. But almost instantly, people descend on the forum and get to work. And within mere minutes, they find and publish his home address, phone number,
I fucking dox him.
age, Facebook, family names,
See,
and a
guys,
list
no
of his favourite
problem.
music and movies. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. And after just a few days of being announced, Real ID is scrapped entirely. By 2009, the Warcraft 3 mod Defense of the Ancients had gained a significant following, and had even spawned a whole new genre of games, MOBAs. For much of that time, Blizzard had paid little attention to the mod or the game, but the success of the recently launched League of Legends could no longer be ignored, and Blizzard finally steps in, starting work on their take on the genre, titled Blizzard Dota. Around the same time, and Valve wants to make their own MOBA. They'd hired the head dev of the original Dota mod, snapped up the Dota trademark, and they're calling their new game
What is
Dota
this?
2. Blizzard is furious. So in 2012, they file a statement of opposition, arguing that the name Defense of the Ancients was associated exclusively with Warcraft due to it being made in their map editor. However, this argument
that
has
is-
issues.
It's so
The
shady.
mod was created in Warcraft 3's map editor, but that map editor had no specific terms and conditions on ownership of said maps, IP,
So shady,
and
man.
concepts. They end up settling out of court a few months after, with Valve getting the commercial rights to the term Dota, and Dota 2 releases in 2012,
Valve was
It's
way
massively
ahead on this
successful,
one.
and goes
for
on
like
to be an
all the
esports
modding,
giant. Blizzard gets
way
non-commercial
ahead of
use of the
Blizzard.
title for its community, and renames Blizzard Dota to Heroes of the Storm, which releases in 2015.
Which was complete
and support is
garbage.
canned 3 years later. Blizzard would change its licensing agreements for all future games to include their ownership of player-created maps in an attempt to avoid this ever happening again. It's 2012, and the massively anticipated sequel to Diablo 2 is looking like it's releasing this year. Its development had been a bit rocky, with its dev team, Blizzard North, being canned in 2005, along with their version of the game. But on the 15th of May 2012, the rebooted Diablo 3 launches. The game is horrendous. For one, its launch is horrific. The game is online only, and turns out there are massive server issues.
Massive, man. That was...
People are spamming their login details.
I don't
over
even
and over,
add
only
words.
to be kicked out by error 37. What's worse, there's no queue system in place, so you have to manually retry every minute.
Ah, man,
This
that...
issue takes over a week to fix. Then there's the auction house. Here, loot can be bought and sold using your mum's credit card. Activision Blizzard gets filthy rich, while the balancing gets obliterated. Endgame content is also essentially non-existent. However, the game sells almost 4 million copies in its first 24 hours.
Of course it's
and over
sold.
time, slowly makes a turnaround. In 2014, the
Well, like, I can't wait for Blizzard to finally don't have great numbers. You know? Seems like it will never happen, because, like, they released Diablo 4, they sold a shit ton of copies, was a great success selling-wise, but player retention-wise, complete fucking garbage. Again. I just want people to learn the lesson and not buy their fucking games anymore.
The real money auction house is closed, and Blizzard launches Reaper of Souls, an add-on praised almost unanimously. They're ready to make a second add-on to the game, but management says no. Apparently, executives see the game as a massive failure and demand devs jump ship. The year is now 2015. The past 10 years had seen massive expansions to Warcraft, including controversial changes to the game and its mechanics, and player numbers reflect that, now being in steep decline. A growing number of players long to go
Peace
back
out.
to the days of vanilla, version 1 of the game, back in 2004. One fan even floats the idea to Blizzard themselves at BlizzCon 2013. Here's how that goes.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No.
Okay then, we'll just make one ourselves. And the fan made
Not only that, he said no, and you don't want that. Like, you don't want to. And you guess what? In 2023, they released fucking Season of Discovery, which is like the classic servers with a couple of spells from like Wrath of the Lich King. Guess who's wrong, dude? You know, the thing is, they never respected their old fan base. Their reputation went all downhill. Diablo 3 was like that Dota lawsuit, and the Diablo 3, man, that was like so bad. And this one's gonna be really bad too, you know, because now I see ads of Ascension on YouTube. Like they're chilling out because they're getting kicked down.
Nostalrius vanilla server goes online in February 2015, running version 1.12, a month after the original launch. It's not long before the server gets massively popular, with almost 1 million accounts registered. It's also not long before Blizzard catches wind and brings the hammer down. Their lawyers sent them a cease and desist in 2016,
Disgusting.
and the server is promptly shut down.
Like, you don't want
Realizing
that.
they were completely wrong
well,
about vanilla Warcraft,
they want
Blizzard
it.
do a full 180 and announce Warcraft Classic in 2017.
Yeah, 4 fucking years later.
Back
4
in 2007,
fucking years later.
Blizzard started work on a huge MMO called Project Titan. It was described as a combination of Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress, and The Sims. But development
Complete
led
shit.
nowhere, and 6 years later, the plug is pulled. A massive failure on Blizzard's part, and a major internal embarrassment. However, the team behind it would attempt to rework the remains of the story and assets into another project, and in 2016, Overwatch hits shelves. And it's amazing. It's critically acclaimed across the board, and massively popular, quickly becoming one of the most popular esports titles.
Never got into it. Sorry. Never got into that. I know it's, for a lot of people, it's a great game. People are like very fond of this game. Never saw anything appealing about it. The only thing I think when I hear about Overwatch is that it brought up XQC. That's all I fucking know. And like I'm like, great. And that's a good result.
Titles on the market. That, paired with their genre pioneering card game Hearthstone back in 2014 that now has almost 100 million players, and Blizzard is looking strong. However, there are problems brewing. See, Overwatch was the last big game they'd had in the pipeline for a while, and they realised they don't have much to show off for BlizzCon 2018. So Blizzard rushes to find something to show off. Got it. Fast forward to November 2018, and their presentation is ready to go. They sprinkle a few niche announcements here and there, like a remastered Warcraft 3, but they
Complete
have
shit.
one big announcement centerpiece. After 6 long years, a brand new Diablo
Complete joke.
for mobile.
Like, look, Diablo 2, come play the mobile game that has nothing to do.
I'm amazed, honestly. It's this bad. This is fucking insane. I don't even know like what to even say about this.
Just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
We don't have any plans at the moment to do.
It's crazy. It's crazy. For how long people have been complaining and everything. And they keep releasing garbage after garbage. But it's making money. It's making money. People buy it. Chinese fucking buy it.
PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have
Everyone's got a phone.
The game eventually launches.
You guys not
and
have
it's
phone? Oh
bad.
yeah,
Firstly,
we have
it's not even developed by
$3,000
Blizzard,
fucking
but their
PCs.
Chinese partner NetEase. And turns out, it's monetized to the tits. It costs over $500,000 to max out a single character, and becomes the worst rated game ever on Metacritic.
The rate is outrageous.
By 2018, fans are noticing something. Activision Blizzard had been creeping, and Blizzard was changing. See, back in 2013, Actiblizzard had bought back the remaining Vivendi shares for about $7 billion, meaning they, and by extension, Bobby Kotick, now had complete control of both Activision and Blizzard. Fast forward to 2018, and this creeping had only got worse. Because of the slowdown in game releases,
Won't do
Blizzard's
anything
revenues
good.
are taking an absolute nosedive. So Actiblizzard steps in. It pushes the company to cut costs and gets them to produce games at a faster pace, with Kotick apparently installing his own executives within Blizzard to ensure that happens. Apparently, tired of Actiblizzard's meddling, Blizzard co-founder Mike Morhaime steps down as president and CEO and leaves the company after
He's like,
27
peace out, man.
years
Peace
of work.
out. You guys are
He's
shit.
succeeded by Warcraft's executive producer, J. Allen Brack. This guy.
And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but
That
you
guy.
don't.
That
And
guy.
as soon as this happens, we accelerate. The company immediately prioritizes cutting costs, and the Heroes of the Storm's development team is outright annihilated. Its esports league is also scrapped right before its 2019 season. As a result, entire teams, commentators, and support staff are suddenly left jobless. And despite 2018 being a record year for Actiblizzard profits, they lay off 800 employees, almost 10% of the company. They begin rehiring the exact same jobs a couple.
Like, how bad are they? How bad? They were supposed... Remember, when you saw Overwatch, it was supposed to be like the breakthrough of esport in the mainstream media. It was supposed to be like, you know, we're gonna play Overwatch and esport on ESPN, fucking RDS, all the sports channel. Oh yeah, we all know how that went, eh? Dude, seriously, then. Just bad decision after bad decision. All, like, their ego was, I don't know. They didn't listen to the fans, like, at all. You see a company like Valve, like, yeah, maybe sometimes they take their time to listen to the fans, but usually when they do something and they have negative feedback, they fucking do something about it. Might not be as fast as you want them to, but they're doing something. Like, they're listening. Way more than Blizzard. Blizzard, they're not listening at all. They think they know everything. It's sad, honestly.
Couple of years later. So going into 2019, people are not happy. But turns out, over on the other side of the world, and things are happening in Hong Kong, they're not good. Their government has proposed a bill that would give China more authority over them, and that's not too popular. At the same time, Hong Kong native Blitz Chung is participating in Hearthstone's esports league. He wins, and uses the post-game interview to show his support for the protests. But as soon as he says it, something happens. See, Blizzard has a huge player base in China, and to keep that player base available to them, they have to bend over backwards for the Chinese government. So when this happens, they go scorched earth. They take the livestream down seconds after he says it.
That's disgusting. You know, place Tiananmen? It's another China revolution. It's another, like, revolting thing. Like, you're trying to censor it. You're trying to be on the Chinese government side. Such a bad look, man. Disgusting.
Slap him with a year-long ban, and even confiscate his prize money. Even the guys casting the stream are fired. It's not long before the internet catches wind, and people are furious. At one point, even Congress members have a go. After a few days of pressure, J. Allen Brack eventually comes out. He reduces the ban to half a year, and grants Blitz Chung his prize money back. He also says that Blizzard's relationships with China had no influence on their decision. Blizzard is starting to look seriously not cool, so they decide to go into BlizzCon 2019 with the big guns, announcing
You're a little
Diablo 4
Diablo
and
Immortal,
Overwatch 2. Also,
was making
that
a lot of
Warcraft
money.
remaster they'd announced at the infamous 2018 BlizzCon is coming out next year. This'll be good. Back in 2015, Blizzard had set up a subdivision to remaster old games, the first of which would be Warcraft 3. And in January 2020, the highly anticipated remaster launches. And
No custom game.
oh boy, the game is beyond terrible. Here's why. Before launch, Warcraft 3's advertising touted multiple new features, over 4 hours of cinematic new cutscenes, more story, and new voice acting, and a complete campaign overhaul, changing the story to be more in line with the current Warcraft lore. But when players log on, turns out absolutely none of this is in the game. This is after being advertised on the website for over a year. Liar! There's also a ton of features from the original Warcraft 3 just outright missing. Here are a few of them. No ranked play.
No.
No profiles.
No.
No account stats.
No.
No custom campaign.
No.
No clans.
No.
No cross-region play for custom games.
No.
Complete
And
joke.
no offline play.
Complete joke.
No.
It's
Complete
possible
joke.
after a few patches, but it's a little complicated. Also, after some digging, people realise the main menu background is actually a Chrome-based web app, and is taking up more of your CPU power than the actual game. Online matchmaking
Oh,
sucks and kicks
I
you out
didn't know
all the
that.
time. This is without a way to reconnect, by the way. Graphics are worse than advertised.
Treason! Have you lost your mind?
Honestly, the
art
original
direction is
fucking
Five of
graphics
the
are
game's
better.
apps are exactly the same as the
They are
original,
better.
And poor optimization, tons of crashes, and countless bugs. On top of all of that, Reforged is a mandatory update for everyone with the original game. Own the original with no intention of upgrading? Well, here's an additional 30 gigabytes of install size anyway. All of this amounts to one of the worst launches of a game in history. Within a few days of release, it ends up at 0.5 out of 10 on Metacritic. At the time, the lowest Metacritic score in history, before being dethroned by Diablo Immortal. So naturally, hordes of people pile in to request refunds.
They're really
But wait,
stacking up
you
the
booted up
the
game
L's, my
even just
guy.
once. Sorry, you're not allowed. There's so much outcry about the game, however, that Blizzard eventually caves and starts actually granting refunds. The game is so bad that the entire classic games division of
That
Blizzard
Mr.
is
Burns
completely
comparison is
You're
perfect.
fired! Get out of here!
It also causes an upcoming Diablo 2 remake to be pushed back more than a year.
Yeah,
So it's
hide yourself.
2021, and Blizzard's reputation is currently abhorrent. But luckily, Overwatch 2 is just around the corner. Hold on a sec. Oh god. Turns out that over the last 2 years, the California Civil Rights Department had been investigating Activision Blizzard due to multiple reports of sexual harassment from staff. And by July 2021, they had enough evidence to file suit. The lawsuit states that sexual harassment, unwanted advances, and groping are common within Blizzard, both before and after the merge. This includes the mention of an executive suite at 2013's BlizzCon. It's not a nice place. In fact, some employees literally dub it the Cosby Suite. Then there's the alleged underpaying of
Ouch.
women, and complaints to both HR and the president repeatedly being ignored. But there was something else. The employees' breast milk. It keeps being stolen.
Oh no.
In the lawsuit, more than one employee alleges breast milk theft. It was very clearly breast milk, in baggies with a baby's face on it, a former producer claims. One day, I went to retrieve my pumped supply at the end of the day, and it was gone.
Disgusting. What the fuck?
The fallout is monumental, and makes headlines industry-wide. Few people are spared. Current Diablo 4 lead, gone. His character's name in Overwatch, also gone. Level designer on World of Warcraft, gone. Head of HR, definitely gone. Warcraft League, gone. J. Allen, gone. Their chief legal, gone. The Wall Street Journal also alleges that Kotick knew about the whole thing, ignored it, and in some cases, even jumped in himself. He denies most of the allegations,
I did not.
and
I
eventually
did not.
apologizes for a one-time instance where he left a voicemail threatening to have his assistant killed. That's all fine then. Water under the bridge. Sponsors like T-Mobile, Coca-Cola, Kellogg, IBM and Pringles also all jump ship from the Overwatch Esports League. And Activision Blizzard is hit with
Bye.
a class action lawsuit on behalf of its shareholders.
What?
Overall, the situation's not looking great. Activision Blizzard denies most of the claims, and in June 2022, they investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing.
Oh yeah. That's convenient. That's real
The immediate
convenient.
reaction to Overwatch 2's announcement was one of confusion. Overwatch 1 was a monetized game with a thriving player base and regular updates. The kind of game that doesn't need a sequel. So this was a strange move. Overwatch 2's development would also mean the end of support for Overwatch 1 in 2020, with us seeing no new Overwatch content for multiple years, essentially killing the game. What? But with Overwatch 2, Blizzard reassures us it was all worth it. Just look at all this new stuff. 5v5 instead of 6v6, shiny new graphics, balancing changes, map reworks, 6 new maps, 3 new heroes, more than 30 new skins, a new game mode, a battle pass and cosmetics shop, and most importantly, a PvE campaign. People had been longing for a story in the Overwatch universe, and now it was finally happening. And it was ambitious. Blizzard shows off a full campaign, along with hero missions, talents, and massive skill trees unique to each hero. Hundreds of missions at launch, they announce. A truly replayable campaign. And don't worry, with Overwatch 2, Blizzard tells us they were redefining what a sequel really means. Overwatch 1 players get all the new maps, updates, and heroes that release in Overwatch 2, and both player bases can crossplay together. The purchase of Overwatch 2 essentially only granting the PvE mode. Okay, sold. Players are on board. 10th of March 2022, and Blizzard has an announcement. Look, we know we said hundreds of missions at launch, but, well, it's taking a while, so we're just going to release the game now without it, and add it later. Then in June, they come out again. The game's now free to play, and launching in October. But anyway, on the 4th of October 2022, it goes live. There are some issues.
Leave,
Events
run.
are bad, tons of balancing issues. The looking for group feature is now just completely gone. But mainly, there's the new cosmetics system. In Overwatch,
Never installed that game. Never. Never. But I did buy Diablo 4. Full price. Like a loser. But like, yeah, Overwatch, like I said, never played that game. Played like once. Maybe. Might have been another game. You know? Might have been another game.
Overwatch 1, earning cosmetics was simple. Just play the game, level up, and earn loot boxes that give you skins. You could pay for them, but that was completely optional. In Overwatch 2, things are different. Blizzard has now slapped on a seasonal battle pass system, where the bulk of cosmetics would now be unlocked. There's also a rotating store, and the prices there aren't great. You can unlock skins for free through the challenge system, but there's a problem. It takes about 8 months to get one. A simple character recolor takes almost 4 weeks.
You can grind it for free, guys.
It will take you around 327 years to get all the stuff you could get relatively quickly for free in Overwatch 1. Better get playing. Also, there's now a new hero every other season, and they'd be locked behind the later levels of the season pass. Your options are, spend every minute of your life grinding for them, or pay up.
Give me money.
In Overwatch 1, they were unlocked straight away. Fans don't take kindly to these changes. But then in May 2023, Blizzard comes out again. So, that PvP hero campaign that we've been advertising, and was pretty much the sole reason we made the sequel in the first place, pretty much completely scrapped. No more talent trees or hero missions. Instead, we're just gonna pepper some PvE missions around every few seasons.
PvE missions, like what? Like the battle pass in CS? The battle pass in Counter-Strike? Do 10 premier matches. So whack. Like, at least just do like Valve. Don't say anything. Say anything. Like, don't say anything.
This was essentially the entire selling point for the sequel. Some of the remaining story content is still planned, with its first release on August 10th, but when it finally releases, it's only 3 missions. Blizzard is saying the game won't be getting any more story missions until at least 2024. They also add Overwatch 2 to Steam, and it instantly becomes the worst reviewed game of all time there.
Yeah, I've noticed I have noticed that trend. They've released Diablo 4 on Steam. They've released Overwatch. They're starting to release like their game on Steam. They're losing big time. That was like it's giving Sonic and Mario vibes, you know? In the 90s, it was all about which one is better, like Sonic or Mario. Now it's like we all know Mario is better because Sonic keeps parasiting all these fucking games. Sonic and Mario and Sonic and the Olympics. You know, and Sonic keeps releasing on Nintendo console, and back then you would never see it. So now it's coming, you know, this the beginning of the end for them. Started releasing their game on Steam, so that's a big L.
The year is now 2023, and Blizzard's reputation has never been worse. So when Diablo 4's release approaches, people are cautious. But on
Sad, huh? I'm a moron because their reputation was at the bottom, and I still pre-ordered that fucking game because I keep having hope for them, but that was the last time that I pre-order a fucking Blizzard game. It was the last freaking time. Such a disappointment.
On the 5th of June, the game launches, and it's surprisingly good. There are some issues here and there, but reviews are mostly positive, and over 10 million people log in and play, making Diablo 4 Blizzard's fastest selling game of all time. For the first time in years, things are actually looking up. And this game was live service, meaning it would receive 3 seasons of content for the foreseeable future, the first of which was launching in July. A month later, and in July, Season 1 of the game drops. It is disastrous, and Reddit goes into a complete meltdown. Turns out, everything gets a big nerf, including the Metacritic score. The Sorcerer class, which was already underpowered, is hit especially hard. Then there's the enemies being overpowered, much less.
You know, I didn't even get to play to that point. I've played the beta. Like, before it was released, I went to level 25. It was great. I had a good time with my buddy. But then when it was released, I started a druid. And apparently that was like a really bad idea. But I'm like, yeah, the druid is coming back. You know, it's Diablo. It's gonna be fun. Well, it was a shit time to be a druid. You know? I reached level 30. Got frozen in place for like 6 seconds. Press escape and just uninstalled the fucking game and never touched it again. Never. You're gonna do a hack and slash where it's supposed to be like full on action, and you're gonna freeze me in place, take away the control on my character, and I have nothing I can do. Nothing I can do because the druid didn't have anything to counter being frozen in place like an idiot. That was a total turn off for me. Never played again. Never played again.
Less XP, a bunch of reskinned dungeons and enemies, barely any new content, and 0 quality of life changes.
Everything here is wrong.
One streamer on Twitch tries to explain why the season isn't that bad. Here's how that goes.
Explosion is at.
Yeah, this guy was kind of a simp. Not gonna lie. I saw a couple of his video. He was, you know, I understand him. He's like, he really loves Diablo, you know. He really wants Diablo to succeed, but it was total fucking shit, man.
I actually just lost my hardcore character while trying to explain this to you. I changed my mind. I hate this season.
And it seems Blizzard also has a bit of a fixation on the
Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass, Battle Pass.
Speaking of which, it gives paid players 666 platinum. The cheapest item in the store is 800. Also, back when Blizzard was designing the menus for the game, They decided
They're
to place
so
the
ass,
Activate
man.
Premium Battle Pass button right next to the button you're constantly pressing to see your season progression.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
There's also no confirmation button, so if you want to check your progression and accidentally misclick, congratulations, you've just purchased it. There are multiple other confirmation
That's so
buttons
shady,
for
man.
other menu options in the game. So Blizzard's last few years haven't been great.
Somehow, Blizzard is now worse than Bethesda!
It had slowly become clear.
Oh yeah, they've been
with
worse
overreach from Activision, more fiscal concern, and
for
most
a
of the
long time,
original
in my
talent having
opinion.
left the company, among other things. Maybe Blizzard wasn't the company it once was. And after a back-to-office mandate in 2023,
And I'm telling you, since 2008, it's not the same company. It was done. Right there and done. A few little glimpses of their past glory, but since 2008, man, complete shit. I know because I've been playing Diablo 2 since 1999 to 2008, and then 2012 when they released Diablo 3, and since then it's been a disappointment. Total disappointment.
even more talent is leaving. So much talent that Blizzard is now actually creating crisis maps for what content they can and can't get done. But with the acquisition from Microsoft, who's currently focusing on making good exclusives to slap on their Game Pass, some fans are hopeful for change. But for now, the outlook on Blizzard Entertainment remains bleak. And don't forget about the epic, accurate, action-packed War Thunder free-to-play pack.
That was a great video. Nothing that hasn't been said already, but it was well, like, conceited and good resume, you know. Shout out to Big Boss. It was a great video, but Blizzard, man, so ass, so ass. Nothing else to say. The last time in Diablo 4 was like, man, last hope. They're bringing the guy who made StarCraft 2, like the Asian guy, I don't remember his name, but they said gonna be the main captain of the team to make Diablo 4. The previews were kind of good, giving a glimpse of hope. Then they released the beta. It was okay. I had a good time. But as soon as I passed level 30 and I started getting freeze in place, I stopped. I just was not amused. Like, all the skills, I can just talk about the druid because that's my only experience I have with the game. Like, I was like, I'm gonna do a elemental druid and it's gonna be a wind druid like back in the days. It was so shit. Like, you were throwing tornadoes that were passing through enemy, going behind them, and then doing their little zigzag shit and not hitting anything. It was complete garbage. Complete garbage. And then afterward, I switched to a Thunder Druid. It was better, but like, I always needed to stack stuff. Always have to be mindful of my stacks and always think about my stacks. It was obnoxious. Like, it's not a good mechanic in a hack and slash like Diablo. Like, you want to have your couple of skills that your items are really buffing, but you don't want to fucking have to like manage a fucking stack every 5 seconds, okay? It's obnoxious. It's real obnoxious. Like, overall, the experience was total garbage. Past level 20, past the beta, they didn't have anything to offer. Didn't have to experience Mephisto, didn't have to experience like Andariel, like I didn't care. I just kept playing Diablo 2. Call me a fanboy, I don't care, but And this guy missed a little bit of the Diablo 2 Resurrected. Like they released it. It was great. Like that's the last game I can remember that they had a good feedback on it. Like people they liked the remake of Diablo 2. Like it was a good release. The server were okay. We could still play how we wanted, and everything was fine. It was Diablo 2 with enhanced graphics. Then first season they released a couple of new stuff like the Terror Zone and a couple of new items, new rune words. Yeah, they kind of made the sin the kick sin a bit too powerful, but you know, the Armoredin has been powerful long enough, so yeah, whatever. Just a new character, new balance changes, and you know, it's fine. But afterward, it's like what, 5 or 6 seasons now? They didn't release anything since. Zero quality of life. Yeah, cannot stack your fucking runes, cannot stack your gems. Nothing. Everybody on every forum you see, man. Everybody. Reddit, Battle.net forums. Everybody. They all say the same things. Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. And they don't do nothing. It's mind-boggling how they're not listening to the community. Kind of crazy to me. Like, you have everything you need to succeed. Everything you need to succeed. But you don't do it. It's crazy. So yeah, thanks for watching. Give Big Boss a follow. I'm gonna link the original video under mine. Like, have a good night, guys.